Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you're watching this. I am the CHALL, and finally, tonight, Chall Chats, Germany 2, Denmark 0. The hosts progress to the quarterfinal stage with Switzerland. Germany will play the winner of Spain versus Georgia tomorrow, who play tomorrow. And, of course, Switzerland play England or Slovakia, who play tomorrow. Now then, before we get into this game, I mean, we had everything in this game. We had lightning, we had thunder, we had torrential rain, we had hailstone, we had VAR disgrace, we had pathetic handball rulings, we had some perfect performances, we had some not so perfect performances, and it was Clive Tilsley's last game on the mic. First of all, shout out to Clive Tilsley. You are one of the reasons why people like me do this. You are the kings of commentary. You are one of the kings of English football broadcasting, and I salute you, King Clive. Now, before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. Let's get there as soon as possible, please. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get into Germany 2, Denmark 0, the second of the opening of the round of 16 games. So, let's start, of course, with the starting lineups. So we are kicking off with the host nation, Germany. They started in their classic 4-2-3-1. Manuel Neuer in goal, a back four from right to left consisting of Joshua Kimmich, Antonio Rüdiger, Nico Schlotterbeck coming into the back line, and David Rahm also coming in. A midfield partnership of Robert Andrich and Tony Kroos, bearing in mind Andrich now has the yellow cards necessary to be withdrawn from the quarterfinal. Leroy Sané and Jamal Musiala partner either side of Ilkay Gundogan, with Kai Havertz in the striker role, just like under Arteta at Arsenal. For Denmark, it is a 3-4-1-2 lineup with Kasper Schmeichel in goal, a back three of Joachim Andersen, Yannick Vestergaard, and Andreas Christensen. The wing backs on the right and left side, respectively, are Joachim Meili and Alexander Barr. The midfield partnership is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Thomas Delaney, with Christian Eriksen as the attacking midfielder. The forward partnership consists of Andreas Skov Olsen on the left and United's Rasmus Højlund, with United's Christian Eriksen on the right. So we're going to kick off with Denmark. And Denmark, even though they lost the game, it's a hard one. And the reason why it's a hard one is this. First 20 minutes, they were completely on the back foot. Germany were best team for the first 20 minutes. Then in the first half, Denmark clawed it back. They delivered some great balls in. I thought that big long ball towards Christian Eriksen, who magnetically controlled it down, was beautiful, majestic, fluid, brilliant. I feel like Denmark missed the boat after the sort of post, re-kick-off, shall we call it, or the restart following the 30-minute break due to the lightning and the thunder. It's well documented out there. We talked about that in my first half review on Twitter. You can go check that out. But basically, around the 33, 34-minute mark, it was around about that time. It was past the 30-minute mark. We had we saw the lightning on screen. We heard the thunder. They got brought back down the tunnel. We had the break to see if the conditions were going to improve. Thankfully, they did. We hope everyone in the stadium's all right. I hope everyone in the stadium's all right from that. And they restarted. It felt very end-to-end for the rest of the first half, extended half break. Going into the second half, I think Denmark just lost it. But it's not all their fault. It isn't all their fault. First of all, the penalty for 1-0, right? It's not the ruling that I'm angry about. Let's put it right. It isn't the rule that I'm angry about. The ruling, should we say, let's make it clear, the ruling that I'm angry about. Because at the end of the day, the current handball rule states if it hits his hand in the box, intentional or not, it's a penalty. So the ruling itself is within the current rules. But that's where I've got the problem. With the VAR, with the technology we've got in football now, the current handball rule in the competitions by UEFA are not fit for purpose. I'm sorry, but the handball rule for every league that contains VAR should be the same. Whether it's a league, whether it's a competition, whether it's a trophy for both club and country, every single competition or league that involves VAR in UEFA, in other governing bodies, should all have the same rules. Simple as that. If you don't have VAR, it's a different ruling because you don't have the technology to back that rule up. Because the technology is there, the rule is slightly different. But that rule should follow across all leagues and competitions in the UEFA and other governing bodies with that technology. Not inconsistent across different leagues and competitions, even though they all have the technology, those that have it. That rule is not fit for purpose. Okay, that rule gifted Germany a penalty. Did he intend to handball it? No. Did it strike his hand by accident? Yes. And somehow it's a penalty. And well done, Clive Tilsley, for pointing that out on commentary. At least you had the balls to call it out on a mainstream media platform. Well done, Clive. I don't know why you're getting removed from ITV or you're getting axed from I don't know why you're leaving. If it's your own decision, fair enough. But yeah, I really don't want you to go, Clive, because at least you call it out as it is. Yeah, that didn't sit well with me. And then the second goal, Yannick Vestergaard's defending is disgusting. No two ways about it. If he sees this and says, "Oh, I'm being harsh," no, I'm not. I watched it back, mate. You were sluggish. You were reactive, not proactive. You were slow to react as well. You took a couple of seconds break before you actually started running back, and that gave the freedom in the world for the space to run into, ready to prepare for that finish. End of the day, it's down to Vestergaard. One big ball up into a lot of space for Germany. Defenders should be closing them down. He shouldn't be reactive for 2 seconds afterwards. Should be proactive from the second that ball goes over. So the defending for the second goal was inexcusable. The defending for Füllkrug's potential third goal that got ruled out, again, marking should have been better. Should have been better. Denmark didn't look like themselves after that VAR check gave the first goal through the penalty by Kai Havertz. But now we're going to highlight Denmark's best player, and it's the goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel. And here's why. So as you can see on your screen, in 90 minutes, Schmeichel versus Neuer comparison. 7 saves to 2 in favour of Schmeichel. 5 from 2 inside the box in favour of Schmeichel. Neuer made one high claim. Schmeichel didn't have to make a high claim. Slightly more touches and slightly more percentage inaccurate passes. Schmeichel had the more productive night. I think he had the busier night, but he statistically was very effective. And Schmeichel kept that from being more than 2. And Schmeichel, for me, it's reminiscent of his dad. And, my dad tells me a few stories about watching Peter Schmeichel, and I've gone back and watched old clips of Peter Schmeichel. And Clive Tilsley pointed it spot on in the commentary. There's vague flashbacks of his dad with the kind of saves that he produces. We saw it especially in the second half. There was that big one-on-one with the striker for Germany, and we all thought, he was going to score it. And there's Schmeichel again doing what Schmeichel does, and that's saving the goal, saving Denmark from future embarrassment. I think if that score went 3-4-5, it would have been embarrassing for Denmark because, to be fair, that second half felt like a slow declining collapse as the second half rolled on. And Schmeichel kept the scoreline from matching that. So Schmeichel, for me, was Denmark's best player. 100%. Now we go into Germany, the winners of today. They will play Spain or Georgia in the quarterfinals. And look, from a Germany point of view, first 20 minutes, they were energetic on the front foot. They could have had a goal straight away in the first couple of minutes, but it got ruled out. It could have been Schlotterbeck's goal from the corner, but again, it got ruled out. I thought Germany were effective. They were looking a bit aggressive. They had some energy about them. I thought Musiala did well. I thought Sane had moments, but looked okay. I felt Kai Havertz, and this is the main point I wanted to point out today about Germany. Kai Havertz wasn't as good as some Arsenal fans hyped him up to be. Some Arsenal fans hyped him up. I personally didn't, and I've seen tweets at full time already about. I've seen Arsenal fans and people say, "Oh, how good was Havertz today? How good was Havertz today?" Do you want me to be brutally honest? I don't think he was that good, and that's not to say he's not a good player. He is a good player, but I don't think he was fantastic. For me, he got the penalty. He had some energy about him. He got involved quite a lot. Um, he missed a few sitters. There was that gilt edge chance in the second half where he put it straight wide, and we're all sitting there thinking that's a definite goal. And to be fair, if that was Fulkrug, it would have been a goal, in my opinion. Just being perfectly honest, Havertz for me didn't have a great game. I felt he had an okay game, and I think part of that was because of the fact he scored the penalty and got involved a lot and had a bit of pace and energy about him. And to be fair, that's one of the positives about Kai Havertz: his pace, his energy, the way he gets himself about into attacking areas, the way he puts himself into the right areas at the right time. But some of his finishing needs serious work. If you're asking me right now, would I start Havertz or Fulkrug in the quarterfinal against Spain or Georgia? I'd start Fulkrug. I would start Fulkrug. Being brutally honest, if you're going to play Havertz, you play him in the number 10 role. But then again, you've got Ilkay Gundogan there. And Gundogan was great, so you wouldn't drop Gundogan. And you don't put Gundogan in the midfield unless you put Gundogan in the midfield pairing with Kroos. Because obviously Andrick has picked up enough yellow cards to miss the quarterfinal. So you could see a partnership of Kroos and Gundogan with Havertz in front of them, the wingers either side, Musiala probably being one of them, and then Fulkrug up front. That could be a way you do it. Just something about Havertz's performance tonight. I just didn't rate it as highly as other people rate it. For me, I think Neuer's up there with one of their best players, but my pick for Germany's best player is actually a defender. And I didn't think I'd be saying that, and I'll go on about that in a second. But overall for Germany, I felt they were on edge. I felt during the second half, as the time went by, Germany got a lot more confident. They got a lot more zesty, a bit more flair, a bit more confidence about them. They grew into it a lot more. They could see Denmark losing their fitness levels, weakening at the belt. And Denmark, for me, just kind of lost it towards the end. And Germany kind of gained control of the match and sort of knew they were going to win that match with 10 minutes to go. You couldn't really see Denmark doing much. I thought Højlund for Denmark had a bit of a graveyard shift. And again, I think something I forgot to point out with Denmark, I would like to see Højlund maybe tried behind the striker as a centre forward / attacking midfielder. But then again, Eriksen. So again, I don't know. But from a general perspective, for me, I just feel like they kind of grabbed control. And I think with 5-10 minutes to go until at the time, you could see Germany controlling the game after that. You could see Germany winning that. You couldn't see a Denmark goal after that. No matter how much they tried, you couldn't see a goal. You just couldn't. And it just weren't going Denmark's way at all, especially when Fulkrug nearly scored that third goal that got ruled out as well. But like I said earlier, my kind of pick of the game for Germany, sorry, was actually a defender, and it was one of the rocks at the back. There was plenty to choose from, but I've gone with Antonio Rüdiger. Rüdiger was all over the pitch. I mean, look at the stats from this guy. 5 clearances, 4 blocked shots, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 87% accurate passes percentage, 83 touches on the ball, uh, 3 out of the 9 accurate long balls that were successful. He won both ground duels he was involved in. He won the single aerial duel he was involved in. He only lost possession on 10 occasions. He was a rock at the back. He made 1 key pass and one cross, which wasn't accurate, unfortunately. But statistically, he was the best defender out there. Rudiger was a rock solid centre back for Germany, and for me, I really rate his performance, and I just couldn't see him doing any wrong. And the passion that he showed near the end when he made that block out for the corner for Denmark, you could see the people going around him. It felt like scoring a goal almost. the passion from that guy. Just you could see him feeling like that block kind of won Denmark a potential opportunity to not come back in that game. So Rüdiger for me was my kind of pick of the bunch for the Germans. Finally, then, what comes next for both teams? Well, like with Italy, Denmark have to go again in the World Cup in a couple of years' time. It's going to be interesting to see what position Denmark are in heading into that competition. Um, I feel like there's a squad there that can get into at least the quarterfinals potentially, or the round of 16 of the World Cup potentially. Um, for me, I feel like there could be a couple of alterations. Like I said about Højlund, I feel like Ericsson hasn't got a lot of major tournaments to go for Denmark, and that's just me being perfectly honest. I don't think we're looking at 4, 5, 6 tournaments. I think we're looking at 2 or 3 left at the very least for Ericsson. So with Højlund, and you look at Rasmus Højlund as a player, he is a versatile attacking player. He has got the size, he's got the mobility. The service was just lacking for Højlund. So I would maybe like to see Højlund transition into that kind of attacking midfield role and see how he does behind a striker and see how he does in that way. I also would like to see Denmark try 2 attacking midfielders with 1 focal point striker, like what Bayern Leverkusen do under Xabi Alonso. I'd like to see Højlund as the focal point and maybe Ericsson and either a winger as an attacking midfielder or a wide attacking midfielder or an out-and-out attacking midfielder or advanced playmaker partnered with Ericsson on one of the other sides, behind Højlund. And I'd like to see Denmark maybe go something like that in the future. There's plenty of different ways to look at it, but if you're a Denmark fan, comment down below, what do you want? Germany, again, they've got a quarterfinal to look forward to against either Spain or Georgia. And of course, we'll see Switzerland take on either England or Slovakia. Both of those ties will be decided tomorrow. So, Germany, do I think they're going to win the tournament? I don't know. It looks like Germany will probably go up against Spain in the quarterfinal, depending on tomorrow's result. But for me, I feel like Germany might not have enough against Spain. I've just got this feeling about Spain. My pick to win it is Spain. Personally, my pick to win it is Spain. I think the biggest dark horse to Switzerland. I think Spain's my pick to win it. So if Germany can beat Spain in the quarterfinal, if Spain make it through tomorrow, then that's a major coup for the hosts and a one big step forward for the final. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. And for now, I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now. That's full time. Mean that badge to you.